Hi everybody, welcome back to Leaf Yarns podcast. This is episode 3 of the relaunch. I would like to say welcome back to returning viewers and hi and welcome to new people. You can find me on here, YouTube as Leaf Yarns podcast, on Ravelry as Leaf Yarns, on Instagram as Leaf Yarns. You can join the Facebook group Leaf Yarns podcast on Facebook and Leaf Yarns on Ravelry. So I'm coming to you from Alphington, Exeter, which is in England, and today is Halloween, the 31st of October, so hence all the pumpkins and things. Sorry, this is the second time I'm recording today. I recorded the whole show perfectly this morning, and then I went to transfer it from my expand drive onto my laptop and it had cut itself off at 2 minutes and dumped the rest, and I was like, no. So take 2. Just to warn you, I'm a little bit froggy and I may cough occasionally because my middle daughter decided to give me her lurgy at the weekend, so I've got a bit of a stinking cold. But hey ho. So how have you all been? You know, I hope you've been well and you've had lots of knitting creative time. I'm just going to jump straight in, but I'm going to do things differently this week. I'm going to do a sort of chit-chatty bit at the beginning. So have a nice cup of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage is and let's have a chat. So, in the last week, I went to a Halloween party, which was also the 10th year anniversary party of Ink Studio, which is my partner Abby's shop, and it was amazing fun. Dressed up as Morticia Adams, and you might have seen some of the photos on Instagram and Facebook and whatever. And I had the full white face and scarlet lips and everything. And while I was there, I got given this steampunk hat from a friend. It was more, you will have this. I was like, okay, thank you. But it's very cool. I really like it actually. But anyway, so that's for a costume for another day. Don't get me wrong, I like steampunk, but it's not really my daily aesthetic. I'm more goth, as you guys know by now. And then I've been doing lots of knitting, finishing stuff. I've not really been well enough to do much other than that because of this lurgy, following on from having the flu last week. It's sort of, oh, okay, poorly again. But I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, that I'll now be well for the rest of the winter. You know, I've got it out of the way early, it's done. I can be the one that looks after everyone else. So, yes. So today is Halloween, and this evening I'm going out trick-or-treating with my youngest, and we have got lots of sweets and things for people that come and knock on our door. And this year I wanted to make some pumpkin chip cookies and sugar cookies and ice them, but there isn't enough time now. But Abby and I made this little chap for Halloween. Don't ask how we made it because you'd never believe us, but there's lots of things in there that shouldn't be inside a pumpkin. But yeah, it's lovely. So we made him over the last couple of weeks, and then I finished painting him on Thursday or Friday, after I recorded last week's podcast anyway. And then on here I've got my glittery pumpkins. They're tea light holders. They're really super cute. And then a few years ago I did a swap type thing. It was like a round robin, and in my parcel was this gorgeous crochet pumpkin. Isn't that really cute? And I love it. Every year I have it out. Normally it lives in there, but I have it out at this time of year, October, November, because it's so beautiful. And then I've got my Halloween cat, who we saw in Wilco's, which is a shop local to us. It's a chain, but it's local to us. And oh, it's so cute. It's called Potions. I was like, so I love black cats. I used to have 2. I've just got I've got 5 cats at the moment. One of them is sat here, aren't you, Marino? Yes, named after the yarn. Yeah. You pop up and say hello. And say hello. Say hi. She's really sleepy. Yeah. So now I will get on with the show because I've done all the chit chatty bit, and hopefully I won't tangent so much about what I've been doing this week and, you know, this, that and the other. So, oh, my hair's gone crazy. Knitting content. I have got 2 FOs and 2 whips to show you. There is no spinning and there is no sewing, but I do have a little bit of sewing chatter. So, to get on with it, I have finished my Berger de France Gummy 50 socks. Now I used maybe a quarter of this one, and this is the Imprime Gris, and there's the details for you. It's not really focusing, sorry. And this is 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. So it's coarser, but it's okay. They're very squishy socks, and I'm hoping that even though they're a bit rough for me, wearing them over tights, they'll still be really, really warm. So this is the second sock finished with its heel. I need to weave in the end on the top of each one, but the rest are all done, and that's the second one. So at the moment, well, I say at the moment, for the last sort of 5 years or so, I've knit my socks toe up. Because I'm not so good with DPNs as a start in the round. I tend to find that I drop needles and things. So I always start toe up now, and I also find that it's easier to do the foot first, because once that's done, you can just fly up the leg and it's done. I don't have to worry about how long the leg is before I get down to the toe, and am I going to have enough yarn and things like that. Excuse me, sorry if I just blew out your earphones. Afterthought heel, not afterthought heel, shorter heel, which is my go-to now. I used to do the afterthought heel on all my socks, but I realised that actually I dreaded having to go back and do the heels just to finish the socks, and I have several pairs that I've still not done that on. So now I do the shorter heel because it's partway through, and once it's done I can just zoom. So, Berger de France socks done. So that's a pair of socks for me for this winter, which is lovely. And it means that I have actually used the yarn that Abby bought me for last Christmas. Admittedly, she gave it to me early, but it means I've used it before this Christmas. So I'm hoping she'll choose me as another ball of yarn for this year. So excited. Hence the rambly, can't speak. Okay, so the other pair of socks that I've finished are in this project bag. My Christmassy one. I know Christmas and Halloween don't go, but they're a Christmas present, so you'll have to forgive me. And these are the Blue Bond Fibre organic cotton, or organic Pima cotton yarn socks. So that's how much I've got left. It's probably half the skein left, and again, I haven't woven in the top bits yet, but 2 finished socks, and these are for my future mother-in-law, and this colour is absolutely beautiful. It's lots of different blues with purple, and it's showing up black on camera, but it's, there we go, it's actually purple. So these are her favourite colours, so I'm hoping she's going to love them. One thing I do want to say is when you knit, or when I had knit these cotton socks, I thought that it would be really hard on my hands, because whenever I've knit with cotton in the past, be it for clothes or dishcloths or whatever, my hands hurt. But because this is actually got a good like ply on it, good twist, it's still got some bounce in it, and you know, they are stretchy, and so it means that there is give in the yarn, so it's not hurt my hands, and I've been able to knit these just as fast, if not fast actually, than wool socks because the yarn is cotton, it's slippy. Beautiful to knit with. I'd highly recommend this yarn. So it's just Blue Bond Fibre Organic Pima Cotton. I certainly will be going back to buy more of it so that in the future I can knit, you know, my future mother-in-law, who will be my mother-in-law, more socks. Now the rest of the yarn I'm going to use as a inner layer of a hat because she's allergic to wool. She can't have any on her skin. It drives her absolutely nuts, and she gets itchy and she gets a rash and everything. So I'm going to knit her hat, and this will be like a secondary brim which I will start the project with, and when it's about this long I will then fold it over and start the real brim and make sure that's underneath so that no wool will be on her head, and then it means that she can have more choice in the colours of yarn or pattern and things that I can do with it, because a cotton hat isn't very warm in the winter, but if I can use wool and have the cotton on the inside, then she'll get, oh, back to coming down, she'll get the benefit of the wool hat but with the delicacy of the cotton against her skin. So it's a win-win. Yay! Okay, that's it for my finished objects. So I'm going to move on to whips. Now I have one pair of socks that I am doing, and because I finished those 2 pairs of socks, I've cast on these ones. So these are in here. This is the Red Heart Stardust yarn in the purple colourway, and I'm actually going to get some more of this because it's really nice to knit with. So I've done this much so far. So where that marker is there, that's one of my leaf markers, my leaf yarn products. That is the toe, and you can see I've just started on the foot. Now this colour isn't as pink as it's showing. Let's see if it'll adjust in the camera. No, it's more lilac than that, more heathery sort of colour, but it's very beautiful anyway. So yeah, these are for my future sister-in-law, and I hope to get at least one of these done by next week. And yeah, as always, I knit on carbons. Everything I knit these days is on carbons. They're just my go-to sock needle that I found and love and will never change back from. And it's living in a really cute bag. So this is more Halloween style, isn't it? There we go. And on to my big piece that I've been knitting on this week. So this is in my my Sketch Gin Repeat bag that she made for me, my friend Jill. Now, when I bought this one, she also sent me some stitch markers myself and another bag with a set of stitch markers to give away on the podcast as a prize. But I'm not going to do that until the first week of December, because then it means that we can have a prize drawing in time for Christmas sort of thing, so that when I do it, I also have time to send it wherever it needs to go, and it should be there in time for Christmas, hopefully. So, just put the pattern down. I'm using my own Deep Moss colourway, which is leaf yarns, and that's on my merino nylon base, and Miss Bab's Cosmic base in the Lurch colourway. That's showing a bit more burgundy than it actually is. A lot more burgundy. It's the dark plum purple sort of colour. But anyway, so this is the test knit I'm doing for Mina, and let me just get it the right way round so you can see. I'm using all three. I'm using two of green alternating, because it's, you know, you should do that with yarns, and when they're hand dyed. So I alternate them every stripe, and then I've got the purple. So this is the jumper so far. Yes, I know it looks tiny, but I'm tiny, see? So I have finished doing all the raglan. I've separated for the sleeves, they're over here on each side. And I'm now doing the body before things get really interesting and things start moving around. So I have done, well, from sort of here in the last week. So I'm really pleased with my progress. And I have got all my Halloween-y type stitch marks on this. I've got my pumpkin here, and my witch's hat and little pumpkin here, and a little baddie here. Really cute. I am really looking forward to having this jumper finished. I'm very excited about it. This is the front, and it's going to fit beautifully. I will let you all know, like I said, when the pattern is released. It won't be until January sometime. I'm just trying to get ahead on knitting this so that I can concentrate on other gifts. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Let me just pop that away. I need to cough in a second, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to. Earlier on when I recorded, I had a cup of tea and I sipped from it, but I forgot this time. Sorry. Oh, don't we love getting lurgy from our kids. So, that's all my knitting for this week. Like I said earlier, I didn't do any spinning this week, not even any plying. I have planned to do spinning. I'm working my way through a gradient on a spindle, which is a gift for someone. Likelihood is I won't get that finished in time for Christmas, but I'm trying. But I've decided that I shall only show you what I've done when it's finished, in the hopes that I'm going to record a little bit to stick in as a different clip, so that when I do the episode, the person I'm making it for will already have it. Fingers crossed. My software isn't working correctly because I've got a new phone and an old computer and a flash drive that doesn't really work properly, so I'm like, But anyway, technical problems. Excuse me. I have bought a few bits and pieces recently. Now, sorry. The fabrics that I bought to do all my Christmas sewing with are over there, but they all need ironing because obviously you wash your fabric before you use it, because all fabric needs to be shrunk. You could only get some fabrics that have been pre-shrunk already, but they're not very readily available. So whenever I get new fabric in, I wash it and then I iron it and then it goes in the cupboard. So that's all just waiting to be ironed. But I got 5 pieces of fabric, but I will show them to you next week when I've started working things, or I don't know, by then I might have finished them. So the only other thing with the sewing I bought is this, which is a pattern for dog coats. Now I know to a lot of people you'll be going, oh, she sews for dogs. Now then, I have a Chinese crested called Joey. If you're a long time follower of the podcast, you'll have met him. He only has hair on the top of his head, on his toes, and the second half of his tail. The rest of him is completely bald, naturally so. And so he's cold now because the winter's, the winter's coming. It's autumn, and recently we had a really gloriously sunny afternoon, and so I took off his jumper and he went out in the garden and he was having a nice sunbathe and everything else. But then he scratched, and because his skin's so delicate, he's scratched here and all across here. And he made it welt and weep, and he was out there for about 5 minutes, and I was like, no, you silly boy. So now he's not allowed to have no clothes on. His feet are taped at the moment, so he can't dig until he heals, because even if he just catches it a little bit, it'll hurt him. So at the moment he is wrapped up in his fleecy blankets, sort of looking at me like, take these off my feet. I don't like it. But yeah, so it means at night I've got to go back to using scratch mitts on him because he tends to dig at night, and yeah, he's naughty really, but dogs get itchy. It's not his fault that he doesn't have fur to stop himself clawing himself, It's not like he has fleas, there's nowhere for them to go. But anyway, so I bought this pattern so I can make lots of clothes, and I'm going to be making this one first, and it's called Eddie Bouncer. Isn't that cute? And there is also Bark Avenue, Yuppie Puppy, and Gucci Poochie. I'm like, oh my word. A, B, C, D? No? So he's having this one. and I've got some fabric, and I will try and sew that and show you. I'll do a little video of him wearing it and just insert it into the podcast so you can all see that. Or I'll just put him on my lap and go like, this is what it is. But we'll see how well he behaves. He will behave because he's very good-natured. He's just shy. So I'll put that back on the merino. You keep that for me. And then I had to get Neve's jumper yarn, and it arrived for the pattern that I've designed for her. And I'm just using Drops Baby Merino in the Uni colour. It's 100% wool. It's merino wool. And it's 175 meters or 191 yards per 50 gram ball. So these are the colours. This blue is the main colour, and this blue is the contrast colour for the snowflakes. And I have 6 balls of this one and 2 balls of this one, which should be plenty. And I'm going to make a start on that this week. I shall cast that on later today or tomorrow morning, and show you, without giving away too much secret sauce, what it's looking like next week. I'm very cautious because I'm writing the pattern and then I'm testing it myself and show you on the podcast. I don't want to show too much until it's gone to test knitting. Now, I have had a lady say yes, they'll test the hat and the gloves for me, but I'd really appreciate if people could volunteer to do a test for a jumper. It's a tween range jumper, so it's going to be going from 8 years to 14 years, because I don't think there are enough patterns on Ravelry. I really struggle to find patterns for young teens. They're becoming a woman, but they don't have the the figure or the shape yet. Fair enough if they do, but I know with my children, having to buy them a size 2, adult clothes, because they no longer fit into their age clothes, because they're designed for children and not developing bodies. It's very disturbing for a teenager's psyche, because in their head, it's like with my middle daughter, she's a size 2. She's 13. When she's 16, she'll no longer be a size 2, but in her head, I'm worried that she'll think that she's fat because she's no longer a size 2. This is a UK size 2, which says sub 2 US. But she's developing, and I'm really worried, and I try and sort of say to them, ignore the clothes sizes, and I measure them, and then I measure the garment, and I say, right, this one's the right size for you, ignore the labels. And I don't think that adult clothes, they should be more like the jeans industry, where you buy your inch size, not your dress size. I think that is part of the whole stigma of people's, body dysmorphia and things, and body shaming. I mean, when I was really poorly, I went down to, a size 2, a size 0, and I didn't recognise myself at all, and no one was telling me that I was too skinny. I didn't recognise it, and now I'm not. I'm a size 6, some things I'm a size 8, and I'm okay with that because I had to work to put that weight back on. But I'm worried for my children and everyone else's children growing up in this day and age where there's such a stigma now, more than ever, to be a size, whatever. It's not okay. So I'm, trying to do things like this so that my children know that they're just a certain body shape, irrelevant of their size, it doesn't matter. They're healthy, so yeah. So long and short of it, a snowflake jumper for Neve will be in this. And my final thing that came in the post came from Home Row Fibre Company. Now, I've been following her for a while, and I messaged her to ask when her shop update was, and I kept stalking her shop, and she messaged back saying it'll be this weekend sort of thing, and I jumped straight on, and I managed to get myself one of these keepsake bags. Isn't it beautiful? So it's Bat Lady, not you know, comic style, a proper traditional bat lady with black bats on a purple bat fabric background with this sort of minty turquoise colour trim. Got a lovely handle. The inside is unfinished. Well, it's finished, it's sewn up, but there's no lining, which I'm absolutely fine with. If you don't need it, don't use it. And then inside it has this beautiful message going all the way around. And I read this and I was like, that is so true, so me. And it says, lost at times I've been, without ground to plant my feet. But there is beauty in the darkness, and it's mine to tame, to keep. I love it. So this just became my all-time favourite project bag and will be used for shawls and hats and gloves and all the small projects that aren't socks. I may put my special socks in here, I don't know. But, oh, I love it. So it's double-sided. She designs and prints these fabrics. They're all her design. The packaging it came in, all of it is traceable and you can recycle all of it except for this tag string, which she recommends you use for something else. Okay, I will use that for something else. She's very ethical and I like that. So over time I expect I will be going back and getting another one of her bags. Maybe the same as this but in a different colour, who knows. So that's it, that's all I've been buying. Obviously there's the fabric that I'll show you next week. That's it I think for this week. Let's see. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed my Halloween decorating. I'm sorry I didn't dress up as Morticia. I just wasn't feeling like having, you know, white and cleavage and everything else, so I'm not feeling quite right. It's quite cold here. It's about 7 degrees, 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that works out to in Fahrenheit, I'm sorry. But maybe next year, who knows, you know. I certainly plan to dress up really silly for Christmas. We'll see. So anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing that's craft-wise, be it knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, felting, whatever, tatting even, I don't know. Have a great weekend and I will see you all again next week. Join the group on Ravelry, subscribe on YouTube below and leave a comment if you like. Okay, bye everyone.